Subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to get all the latest updates. I am standing right at the entry point to the neighborhood of Ramganj in the old walled city of Jaipur. This area has emerged as a key virus hotspot. In fact, it is the worst hit area across Rajasthan today. And let me step out of the way and give you a sense of what's happening here. The area is totally barricaded. You can see the police barricades here. And in fact, we're standing right next to the police. If you just turn around, you will see the policemen here who are on duty as well. And this is a very, very challenging situation, and it's challenging for this reason. It's a congested area. It has an estimated 4 lakh people, and they live within a 2 square kilometer area. So you can imagine the challenges of trying to impose social distancing in an area like this. What we do know is that 8% of the population has tested positive, more than 400 people. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to step out here. It's very, very hot, so we actually have to keep our camera back there in the shade. Otherwise, the heat has a completely destructive impact on the technology. And I'm going to request the area magistrate of this area, Akil Khan, who we met here doing the rounds in this area of Ramganj, to tell us what's happening on the ground. I'm also, before I talk to Akil, going to show you 2 women security personnel that side who are actually just walking into duty. So there's a lot of police deployment here, and in fact we're standing right at a police station. Now, Akil Saab, what is the latest situation here?
The situation is that we are doing aggressive testing because that's the only way to find out how far has it reached, and that will also allow us to strategize how to control it. So the government has gone for aggressive testing. We are among the top states in India to have done so many tests, and specifically in this area we have done more than 5,000 tests till now. And since the percentage was pretty high, the medical department has come up with a scientific formula which is called cluster sampling, through which we are trying to do our samples throughout Jaipur now. Okay. So that we can also find out if it has spread outside.
Now, from what we hear, 8% of the population has tested positive, and you're facing a major challenge in getting people to cooperate. What is the fear among them? We're also talking here about a predominantly Muslim majority area, and there is a lot of fear of stigma and backlash that has been stopping people from coming out. And a number of Muslim bureaucrats have actually been posted on the ground to allay this fear. Akil is one of them. Akil, what in particular is the fear factor in this area?
See, initially there was a problem of understanding the gravity of this issue, which now people have understood. So now they are cooperating. We have started receiving some social support as well, which is the key to counter this issue.
Why were they not cooperating earlier?
I think the major reason is that most of the people are not educated here in this area. If you would see, most of the people are illiterate, and they were not aware of the gravity and how it has hit globally. So now, since they know about it, they are supporting. Okay, I'm just going to ask you to walk with us a little bit so our viewers can get a sense of this area. And behind me and Akil, if you turn around in this direction, you will see the Hawa Mahal in the distance. Akil, I'm just going to ask you to step out for a second. So come towards me so that our camera can get the Hawa Mahal in the distance. Hawa Mahal, of course, we used to sing on touristy trips to Rajasthan. Who would imagine today that it would be lying absolutely desolate? And just to remind you, the crisis in this area started when one person returned from Oman, and he became, in a sense, the virus carrier, as it were. There is also to this side a fire brigade that is just exiting the cordoned area, and the women security personnel right behind. And Akil, it started with someone who returned from Oman. There have been some suggestions that more draconian measures are needed. Some people have even suggested that just like in Nizamuddin, the area was emptied out. Why isn't that happening here? See, the population is a lot more here. As you mentioned, that in this 2 square kilometer, there are almost 400,000 people, so we cannot evacuate it. But what the government is doing is that we have sealed the area. So now people in the area where we have found more positives, they are not allowed to come inside, and along with that we are ensuring that the emergency supplies and all the necessary supplies are given.
I was just going to ask, if you sealed the area, how is food and other essential items going in?
So what we are doing is that starting from the morning milk supplies to the vegetables and the ration, we have got several grocery stores open which have their WhatsApp numbers, so people just have to WhatsApp their requirements, and they are delivering with the support of administration. The home delivery is being.
So no one's allowed to go out to buy groceries?
Yes, no.
Okay, so I'm going to come back to you, Akhil, because I want to give a sense of the barricades here. And this is where the barricade is. This is the last point that even we as journalists are able to enter this old walled city of Rajasthan, the worst hit area now across the state of Rajasthan. As you just heard from Akhil Khan, people are not allowed to step up for groceries. All the other sort of inputs we're getting from this area are requesting people who live inside to send us their videos, to send us photographs, because even there's a strict restriction, and we understand that, on media also going any further. Akhil, would you consider an evacuation?
I don't think that is possible.
Because the sheer scale of numbers?
Exactly.
You've also had kind of statements saying against quarantine. How are you dealing with that, ill-informed statements against quarantine?
See, now, initially it was there, but now I think people have started cooperating, and initially there were some issues. People thought that in the quarantine they are not being taken care of, but now everybody knows, the message has gone that in quarantine people are being taken care of quite nicely, so people are supporting now.
What worries you the most at this point, Akhil? What worries you the most? What gives you sleepless night? What keeps you awake at night?
See, the only issue is that this is something for which we do not have a vaccination or a proper treatment. So the only way to do this is social distancing, and it cannot be done without support of.
But there are in these congested lanes, there are also homes where 10 to 15 people live in the same lane.
Yeah, that's a challenge, and even despite this, people now are coming out to support in whatever way possible. And the only way out was to cordon off this area, which the government and the administration have done.
One last question. Why is the Bhilwara containment model not working here?
See, there are several reasons, because one, the population is too large here. The demographic structure is a bit different. So I think it will be a bit difficult, and hopefully we'll come out with a Ramganj model.
A Ramganj model. A Ramganj model based on aggressive
testings and social support.
Aggressive testing and social support is what young officers here on the ground are asking for. The very successful Bhilwara model that is being replicated across the country, not really working here, partly because it's a very, very congested area, partly because there have been challenges in getting people to volunteer information, and partly because the numbers are simply too large to have an evacuation. And in the meantime, for the first time in the living memory of Rajasthan, the historic Ajmeri Gate has been sealed as well. In other words, you cannot as a citizen go beyond the Ajmeri Gate, which then leads you to this barricade, beyond which lies Ramganj, Rajasthan's new virus hotspot.